In RuneScape there are hundreds of different monsters for you to slay. Some of these monsters, however, have been left in the dark over the years with the rise of EOC and newer, better creatures to slay. In this video we're going to cover some of those forgotten monsters, so when you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Starting off, we have a creature located in the stronghold of security on the 3rd level. This creature is called the Catapult Pawn, if I pronounced that correctly. These were actually a good way of training ranged back in the day, and I did train ranged on these myself. Nowadays though, even though the Stronghold of Security still has some good creatures to slay for experience, the Stronghold of Security, especially in Members Worlds, is completely empty. And that's a sad thing to see. I remember having issues going to the middle and it taking me quite a long time to get those fancy boots. You know, those rainbow boots, the good old boots. And honestly, there are more creatures in here that are forgotten monsters of RuneScape 3, especially the Shades, as I don't think you can find them anywhere else in RuneScape. Warning, if you do have epilepsy, please skip through the video at least a couple of minutes because the following clips will have flashing images. The next creature is called a kilowatt. Now this was actually one of the suggested creatures to check out by the person who gave me the idea for this video, being Soft Chicken. Now kilowatts are a level 37 Slayer creature only assigned by Vanica, and they are located in the portal you enter in at the top of the Draenor Manor. Now these are surprisingly good GP in terms of average drops for a level 37 Slayer creature. They drop battle staves, they drop herbs, they drop cannibals, coins, runes, and honestly for a level 37 Slayer creature, if you consider the fact that the players killing these maybe only have base 40 stats, they are really good. I might even make a money making guide including these. Oh, for those wondering, these were released in 2006. So that's quite an old creature, huh? Next up, we have some creatures in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves, which in itself is a pretty old area, released in 2005. Now, in certain areas, which you can see if you pay attention to the wall, there's this thing called a wallbeast which can come out if you walk past it. The only way to avoid it is by searching past the areas if spotted previously. Now, the wallbeast are a creature you can get as a Slayer task if you have level 35 Slayer, and they require a spiny helmet to kill, or a Slayer helmet of course. Next up, we have the Cave Goblin, also located in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves, which reminds me a lot of the older model of the Zanik NPC. They really look kind of cute if I'm being entirely honest, and I don't really want to kill these. Now what happens if you kill one of these, the other cave goblins in the proximity will shout help or no and then try and walk backwards and do the moonwalk from you to not get killed. Now you can talk to these cave goblins, and if you choose the option I'm going to slay you all, you evil goblins, they will again do the moonwalk and walk backwards to try and avoid you. So if you ever want to see Justin Bieber in RuneScape, simply go ahead and visit the Lumbridge Swamp Caves. Next up, we have magic axes located in the wilderness and in the Taverley dungeon. Now the only thing these drop are key tokens, mimic kill tokens, and medium bladed iron salvage, and they always drop it. There's really no incentive to kill these other than low level magic training, which nowadays can be done through other methods, and that's just a shame because they have a decent looking model. Next up, we have the desert lizards located in, surprise surprise, the desert. Now these lizards have outdated models and are an old creature that you don't really see too often in RuneScape unless you're out doing clues or maybe even training hunter in the desert. Now it's weird that these models are outdated because there's a lizard, as you can see on screen, that does have a HD model. Now these desert lizards are of course a Slayer task, but it's a little strange as you need to cool them off before finishing them, by right clicking them and cooling them off. You cannot do this beforehand for whatever reason, so like how does this make sense? It's not like you're going to put it in a box of ice and then cook it later. Like what? The outdated and updated mix of monster models seems to be a trend throughout the desert. Inside Senlitan's pyramid, the Pharaoh Queen's pyramid, there's these small scarabs. They are both the same level, but some have the outdated model and some have the newer updated HD model. Next up, we have the rum crabs located in the Rumjian on Brain Death Island. Now these monsters are monsters I cannot currently access myself because I haven't been doing quests. So that's why Nexus has helped me with the footage here. Now rum crabs used to be a good money making method. I heard this from Soft Chicken as well as Nexus mentioning that even a friend made a 10 hours loot video of these back in the day. Quite interesting because you don't really hear anything about these anymore. I don't think most players even remember these existed. Now if you're wondering, they have a pretty herb-based drop table with a lot of herbs being common, and they drop super pot 1 and 2 doses, so if you're an Iron Man, these might actually be a very good way of obtaining herbs and potions for free. If you ever wanted to punish Hopper from that Disney movie, you can do that by killing Locust Lancers northeast of Menethos. These drop the Scabarite Notes for the Scabarite Notes mini quest, and they also drop a bunch of rune salvage, so if you want to make some money, you can do that by bringing your spring cleaner along. Apparently they can be assigned as a Slayer task, but they only require level 1 Slayer despite having a combat level of 77. Quite interesting. Next up we have Walazakis located in the Waterbirth Island dungeon. Now these are a creature that look like a walrus, clearly, but they are very old models. These creatures were released in 2005, and if you attack and kill one of them, their friends will get angry and start waterbending at you. Now I don't really see a point in killing these, but according to the wiki, they are a decent source of blue charms, and they would be correct as they have an 11 to 12% chance to drop a blue charm, and you can kill a lot of these per hour. Again, if you're an Iron Man account, these may have a use for you because they drop seeds, herbs, runes, and they are a source of blue charms, but for Mainscape accounts, these are probably dead content. And finally, we have Warp Tortoises. Now, if you've never played Iron Man mode, you probably don't even know about the Poison Waste dungeon. These creatures are killed for their tortoise shells used to make a war tortoise pouch. Now, the tortoise shell is an uncommon drop, and they drop either 1, 2, or 3 of these at once. But there's a big but, these are 36,000 GP each, meaning you can get over 100k in one kill if you are lucky here. Meaning these are actually a decent mid-level money making method, and again I might make a future video on these. And with that being said, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, please leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.